So are you looking for that great community that does have that sense of pride about it? Well, in today's video, we are going to be discussing all things living in the city of Southlake, Texas. It's a feeling that So before we dive into it, let's give you a little bit of information about the city of Southlake. Now, Southlake does have a population of around 32,000 people, and the size is only about 22 square miles. Lake Grapevine is on the north end of the city of Southlake, and Highway 114 does drive right through the center of town. But more importantly, if you are thinking of making that move to the Southlake area, let's talk about homes and prices. Well, the median price of a home in Southlake is almost at about $1.3 million. So you can find a home for around $480,000, but that one's going to have less than 900 square feet. All right, this really isn't normal for the city of Southlake, but believe it or not, there's actually a trailer park in Southlake. So you will find some of these one-off type properties that don't really make a whole lot of sense for the area. So just imagine paying almost $500,000 for a home that isn't even 1,000 square feet. Now, homes in the city of Southlake can actually go up to around $12 million and have maybe almost 24,000 square feet on almost 5 acres. Yes, they have that in Southlake. But for new construction, you really actually won't find a whole lot of options within the city of Southlake. Currently, there are only 10 active homes on the market that are new construction. Either they're completed or they're still being built, but there's only 10. And there's currently only 94 active homes in total on the market currently. Now, Southlake is home to some of the best neighborhoods in the entire state of Texas, from high-end luxury new construction homes and well-established estates to more of that family-friendly community with a neighborhood that really can suit every single lifestyle within the city of Southlake. Now, one of the main things that makes Southlake neighborhoods so charming is really the pride that the residents take in their homes and in their neighborhoods. Now, the properties in the city of Southlake are really well maintained. The streets are lined with these big, beautiful trees, which really does make these neighborhoods and communities have this great sense of pride about where they live. Also, because of the size of the homes that are in Southlake, most of the homes seem to be built on larger size lots as well. Most are at a minimum on about 1/4 of an acre, but some obviously on much larger home sites. You can see an acre and upwards of even higher with these big, beautiful homes on them. So really, if you are looking for a close-knit community or a neighborhood with some excellent amenities, Southlake really does have it all. Now, one thing to note though, that there are no apartments in the city of Southlake, but there's actually a small number of condos and townhomes. But really, these aren't your average everyday condos and townhomes. Some of these are upwards of around 3,000 square feet and cost in the millions of dollars. So Southlake is going to have a very hefty price point on the condos and townhomes that are in the city as well. Now, for rentals in Southlake, there's actually only 35 active homes for rent, starting at $2,600 for a 2,100 square foot mobile home. And you can also pay up to almost $22,000 for a 6,000 square foot home in one of the top neighborhoods. But the rentals in Southlake do average around $5,000 to $6,000 per month. And prices for rent will obviously vary based on the size of the home, the neighborhood, and whether it does have a pool or some of the other popular amenities. And the more desirable neighborhoods will obviously have rents that are quite a bit higher than some of the other neighborhoods. Now, Southlake does have almost 10,000 homes within its city, and over 95% of them are actually owner-occupied, with less than 5% of them having renters in them. So compared to a lot of the other cities around here, people really do move to Southlake to buy and really adopt the community and the way of life that people in Southlake have. It's just one of those things that people move to Southlake exactly for what it is. And they really want to be able to buy the properties there because they know that the properties in Southlake really will hold their value there. And if you do know anyone that lives there, it really is something else. once you get there, most people have a hard time wanting to go anywhere else unless they actually have to. And for some of my followers out there, you know who you are. And obviously, that's why I'm wearing green today. If you know anything about Southlake, green is the color over there. If green is not in your wardrobe, you might want to start finding all the green that you can to make sure that you fit in with the community as well as possible. Now, when we are speaking of real estate and you maybe want to build your own custom home, you actually can buy some land in Southlake if you are really looking to build that custom dream home of yours. Currently, there are 33 lots that are available from anywhere from about 0.1 acre, and that's going to build you one of the townhouses around Southlake Town Square. You could also pay $700,000 to $2 million for almost 2 acres of land in the city of Southlake. So land in Southlake is also at a premium. Now let's get a little bit into the location of Southlake. Like I said, it does border Lake Grapevine. Lake Grapevine is on the north end of Southlake. It's only about 10 minutes from DFW. So if you're going to be commuting quite often and you love to travel, maybe about 15 minutes to get from your door to the terminals to take your next flight. It's about 25 miles to get down to Fort Worth and about 26 miles to get to downtown Dallas. Granted, all of these are without traffic. And maybe you need to get over to Arlington because granted, that's where the Cowboys and the Rangers and so much going on over in Arlington. That's about 20 minutes away. But you can also head over to Frisco. You can hop right on the freeway and take an easy drive over to Frisco. And that is about 30 miles and just depending on the traffic for that as well. Now, with Southlake's location bordering Lake Grapevine, there's actually some really beautiful neighborhoods that offer some convenient access to some of the area's outdoor recreational activities here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So when you live in one of these neighborhoods in Southlake, it will allow you the opportunity to really kind of experience the nature and still have the convenience of living close to what is Southlake's busy town center. There really are so many trails that go along Lake Grapevine. So having that access and being able to be outdoors in the spring and in the fall when our weather is amazing just is super convenient and another one of the draws for why people want to live there. But more importantly, if you need more specific information about Southlake or really any of the other cities here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that's why I am here. I am a licensed realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have helped clients move all throughout the Metroplex, and I absolutely love my job. So reach out to me, send me an email, a text, give me a call, let me know how I can help you make that move here and answer some of those questions that you might have before making that move here to the Dallas, Texas area. But now let's kind of get into where to live. Let's talk about some of these amazing neighborhoods that are in Southlake. Granted, there are a ton of them. There's a lot of great neighborhoods, but I'm just going to touch on some of my favorites, maybe because also depending on the location and maybe some of the amenities and reasons why people do want to live in some of these neighborhoods. And the first one that I do want to touch on is the community of Tiburon. Now, it is probably one of the largest master plan communities in the entire city of Southlake. It's built on 1,200 acres with over 1,500 homes that are spread out through 14 different neighborhoods within the community of Tiburon. Now, the homes were built back from around 1992 to about 2003, and some of these homes are up to about an acre. And prices within the community of Tiburon range from around $850,000 to about $3.5 million. Some are really some beautiful, huge homes within Tiburon, and a lot of them are around a quarter of an acre. There are tons of amenities in Tiburon with multiple pools, tennis and pickleball courts, fitness center, basketball and volleyball courts, multiple playgrounds, ponds for fishing, and lots of walking trails all throughout the community. I mean, with 1,200 acres, there better be, right? You always see people riding their bikes and running all throughout the neighborhood. It really is beautiful with these gorgeous winding streets throughout the community. Another community is the community of Carillon. Now, this community is just on the north side of Highway 114, and this community is made up of two different kind of districts, as they call them, the Village District and the Chateau District. The Chateau District does include some estate lots that overlook Lake Carillon, and the Village District home sites overlook the Village Green, as they're called. Now, the Village District homes are built on lots that can really kind of be regarded as small by Southlake standards, of course, but they really were built to encourage that close-knit sense of community. They're located along the walking trails and the park and the village green, but also built so that the residents could walk to the offices and the shopping and the entertainment that will soon be offered in the Carillon's retail district once that is actually built out. Now, the Chateau district of Carillon has the larger estate lots, and these lots are larger than the village district, of course, but do offer walking access to the 12-acre Lake Carillon. Now, the homes in the Chateau district are more in line with the luxury single-family custom home sites that really Southlake is actually known for. There are about 340 home sites currently, and homes were started to be built back in 2012. And homes do range from around $1 million to over $3 million. But really, it is part of the larger Carillon Park mixed-use development that actually has not been completed yet. So once it's completed, there's going to be tons of access and a lot of great things right there next to the whole Carillon mixed-use development. Now, next community that I want to talk to is probably one of my favorites right now, and that is Saddleback Ridge Estates. Now, this community is stunning. If you have a hefty budget and you want to be in a stunning new construction custom home community, then this is it in the city of Southlake. Now, this community is nestled right within all these big, beautiful wooded trees and is actually a gated community as well. It's on the north end of Southlake, pretty much, almost as close as you can get to Lake Grapevine, not entirely, but really close to Lake Grapevine. And there are 32 custom home sites on 1+ acre lots. And the prices, though, are going to be starting at around $4 to $5 million. So love this neighborhood, love the area that it's located. And if you want something a little bit more off the beaten path, this is a great one. But of course, only if you can afford it. Now, let's bring it down a little bit and talk about another great community, and that's the community of Clarendon Ranch. Now, there are 115 custom home sites within this community, and they started back in 2001. Lots are really over an acre, but more importantly, the homes in Clarendon Ranch actually kind of sit a little bit further back from the road, mainly because they actually have a little bit more space. Now, these homes have an average price point of about $1.5 to $2.5 million and an average size of around 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. But of course, you can find a few well over $3 million and some over 11,000 square feet. So if you need a lot of space, there might be an option in there for you. So just like a lot of the neighborhoods throughout Southlake, you really can find some extra luxurious properties in a whole lot of these different neighborhoods spread throughout the entire city of Southlake. All right, next up is the community of Foxborough. Now, these properties range from around $1.5 to $1.9 million. And this community is nestled pretty much right in the middle of Bicentennial Park and Southlake Town Square. So it is a really great location. This is a great neighborhood right in the middle of the city. So you're really in the middle of everything. Easy access to whatever you need to do in the city of Southlake. It has a beautiful entrance with a pond and a fountain right as you enter off of Southlake Boulevard. And honestly, a lot of these neighborhoods here in Southlake really do outdo themselves. And Foxborough might be a little bit more of a smaller neighborhood, but just as beautiful. There's only 65 homes, and these homes were built back from about 1996 to around 2000. And the size of the homes range from around 3,600 square feet to over 6,000 square feet, and on lots built from around a half an acre to 2/3 of an acre. So again, larger home sites than most of the other communities and cities and neighborhoods all throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. All right, now the next neighborhood is a community called Crescent Heights. And this is another newer gated community right off of Southlake Boulevard and right across the street from the Mark and Bicentennial Park, right to the west. It is a 57-acre community designed around 11 acres of large, beautiful native trees that they kept there, ponds, walking trails, a 5-acre central green space, And this community does have 53 custom home sites that do range from about 2/3 to 3/4 of an acre in size, with only 4 premium acre lot sizes within this particular community. And these beautiful large estates start at around 4,000 square feet and do go up to almost 10,000 square feet with prices over $3.5 million. So new construction, location, the price is going to be definitely quite a bit higher for the Southlake area in this particular community. And next up on the list is the community of Monticello. Now, this is another stunning guarded and gated neighborhood with over 300 homes built between 1992 and 2000. And these homes are on about 1/3 of an acre to 3/4 of an acre, and prices range from $1.4 to $2.4 million. And the homes are from 4,000 to around 6,000 square feet. And the Monticello neighborhood does have over 64 acres of private parks within the community. There are 6 ponds, miles of tree shaded trails. So in the hot summer sun, being able to go out walking when the trees are shaded, there might be a cool breeze, makes it so much more enjoyable here in Texas. They also do have 4 tennis courts and a playground, basketball courts, and this is another one of those communities that really does take a lot of pride in being really close-knit. They have a lot of great community events and things that do really bring the whole neighborhood together. So another good reason why people want to live within this particular community. So that is just a drop in the bucket for what you can find in the city of Southlake in regards to some of these neighborhoods and what it's like living here. But truly, Southlake really is in a league of its own. And it's just this sense of pride and sense of community. And these neighborhoods are absolutely beautiful. And the price point is certainly higher when living in the city of Southlake. Now let's talk a little bit about family life. Because if you do have a family and you're thinking of moving to the city of Southlake, there really are a number of family-friendly neighborhoods. And some of these communities do have schools and parks. And because so many of these areas do have community events and activities, family members of every age will really be able to make connections with their neighbors. I have talked to clients and friends and people who we have helped relocate and who have lived in Southlake for years. And that's truly what they say. It's, you move into some of these great neighborhoods all throughout Dallas and you love your neighbors. You get to know, you might have some really good relationships with your neighbors, but it honestly isn't like the stories that I've heard for people living in Southlake. It's like everybody goes to church together, everybody joins sports together, and everybody knows what everybody's doing. And there's so many different activities within all of these different communities, and you could join the women's clubs or the things that you can join. There's something in the city of Southlake for everybody. So whether you have kids or whether you don't have kids, or maybe your kids have already grown up, there's a lot to do and ways to get involved by living in the city of Southlake. But if you do want to live a little bit more secluded and quiet lifestyle, there's also going to be a lot of these neighborhoods and homes that do offer some privacy and security. As you drive up and down a lot of these roads, there are big gated entrances. So obviously you might not be as close with those types of neighbors, but overall, the community of Southlake really is very close-knit, and there's a lot of ways that you can get involved within the community and get to know the people who are living there. So regardless of what your preferences may be, Southlake will probably have something for you. But one thing is for sure, people wanting to live in Southlake know that it really is a step above most of the other communities. Now let's talk about what there is to do in the city of Southlake. Now, first up, there is what is called the Mark, which is Southlake's Community Recreation Center. It's an 82,000 square foot facility with all of the state-of-the-art amenities that you could possibly want. It does have an indoor and an outdoor turf because maybe you need to practice some football moves, I guess. It does have cardio and free weight and fitness machines. It has indoor courts. It has saunas. It has an indoor pool with water slides and a splash pad. It also has playgrounds and an indoor track, locker rooms, and party rooms that you can rent out. So if you're living in Southlake, you want access to all kinds of different options, go check out the Mark and become a member over there. And it's right there in the same area as Bicentennial Park. And Bicentennial Park really is the premier park and center of all of Southlake. It's home to the city's baseball fields, a new playground, the historic log cabin, public art, tennis courts, and the new Southlake pickleball complex with 9 new pickleball courts. I know pickleball is huge and they just built this big new facility, and there is tons going on over in Bicentennial Park. Lots to do over there. So next up is the Tiburon Country Club. Yes, it is within the community of Tiburon, and it is an exclusive, family-oriented, private club and home to the championship golf course that was designed by legendary Byron Nelson. And the facilities really are only available for use by those who have accepted an invitation to a clubhouse or a golf membership. And it really is the tradition that the members do sponsor people into membership at the club. So someone needs to know you in order to get in. So again, make sure to get to know your neighbors, make friends with people in the community if you are interested in joining the country club. We also have Southlake Town Square, which really is the center and the hub of all things going on in the city of Southlake. That's where you do the majority of your shopping. It's outdoors, lots going on, lots of restaurants, and it just really is the place to be in Southlake. If you live there, you're probably going to be there multiple times a week. And even if you don't live there, like me, you're going to be there quite often anyway, because that's where you're going to do the majority of your shopping in the city of Southlake. They also do have a central market in Southlake. It's actually right across the street from Southlake Town Square. And there's also a Trader Joe's. So what could get better? Everything you could possibly want right in the city of Southlake. They also have Bob Jones Nature Center and Preserve, which is up towards Grapevine Lake. It's a great outdoor area if you want to go walking along the lake. There's different programs and things going on out there, but another very popular area for things to do and be outdoors when our weather is fantastic. It's a great area to go and check out, even if you don't actually live in Southlake. And not to mention, speaking of things to do, the number of events that are happening in Southlake. Now, Southlake Town Square really will host a ton of different events. That's where the majority of things are going to be happening in the city of Southlake. And it's really going to have a lot of things that bring the community together, as well as events that are going to bring in a lot of different people who don't even live within Southlake. Everything from the Southlake Stars and Stripes, which is going to happen on July 3rd. That's another thing that I love about here in Dallas, is there's so many different events, and especially for the 4th of July, there's events all throughout the entire Metroplex, and not everything is going to happen on the 4th. And Southlake does their celebration on July 3rd, which I think is great. It gives you multiple days in order to celebrate some of these different holidays. They also do Christmas tree lighting, and they do host a big, huge Oktoberfest, as well as Art in the Square, just to name a few. And all of these are happening right in Southlake, in the Southlake Town Square, and they really are a big deal, and it's a great way to bring the community together. Absolutely love attending all of these events. Southlake is definitely one of my favorite places to go, even though I don't happen to live there. All right, so another draw for people making the move to Southlake, especially if they have children, is because of the schools and the education within the community of Southlake. Southlake is part of Carroll Independent School District, and besides all of the gorgeous homes, the education system is really top-notch. It's consistently ranked among the top school district in the entire state for providing students with a really top-tier educational foundation. And if you currently check out niche.com, it is ranked #1 here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Within the Carroll ISD, there are 11 schools. There are 5 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 intermediate schools, and 2 high schools. But the high schools are actually a 9th and 10th grade campus and an 11th and 12th grade campus. So in Carroll ISD, they do have their grades broken up a little bit more onto different campuses, keeping their schools a little bit smaller because of that than some of the other larger schools all throughout the DFW area. Now, Carroll ISD does have more than 8,400 students, and the majority of the students do actually live within Southlake proper. But some of the residents of Westlake attend Carroll ISD, and very small portions of the cities of Colleyville, Grapevine, and Keller are also zoned to Carroll ISD. So if you're actually moving strictly to be part of Carroll ISD and maybe you can't find a home within the city limits of Southlake, make sure that you reach out to me or ask anybody else to make sure that you find a home that is actually zoned for Carroll ISD, because there are a few areas that will actually feed into the particular school system. Now, Carroll also does mention that they have a 0% dropout rate. They also have a 97% attendance rate and consistently score above the state and national averages on assessments, which is what really helps to give it such high rankings. Also, approximately 98% of Carroll's seniors do go on to attend college after graduation. So by putting your kids in Carroll ISD and having a top tier education is certainly why a lot of families are desiring to move there. All right, let's touch a little bit about sports, because another reason why a lot of people might want to move to Carroll is because of all of the sports programs. Now, they are highly competitive, so whether it is football or golf, maybe tennis, swimming, or even the marching band, Carroll ISD does strive for excellence in all forms of sports and activities within their schools. Now, this year, they actually won their 9th Lone Star Cup, which is given out annually by the University Interscholastic League, and the schools do earn points based on their athletics team's performances within district and state championships. It does also include results from things like robotics and theater. So honestly, no matter what your kids might be into, there really is something for everyone to get involved with in the schools and be able to excel by going to the Carroll ISD school system. So really, no matter what your desire to move to Southlake is, whether it's the location or the community atmosphere, maybe it's the schools or some unbelievable real estate opportunities, you surely will not be disappointed if you are considering making that move to the Southlake area. So if there's ever anything that I can do to help answer these questions, reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and more importantly, leave your comments down below. What is it that I might have missed? What are the questions that you do have? Maybe some other cities or areas or things that you want featured. Leave those comments down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and let me know what I can do to help, because again, I love helping people make that move here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I love helping people find that perfect fit for them. So until next time, take care.